What if I told you that your entire life, every coincidence, every heartbreak, every delay, every breakthrough was never random, but part of a hidden system responding to something inside you that you can't see, but you always feel? Think about that. What if the universe isn't ignoring your prayers, but answering a deeper vibration you didn't even know you were sending? You didn't find this message by accident. Something greater brought you here. This isn't just another spiritual video, and it's definitely not another motivational moment that fades after a few hours. This is a doorway, a vibrational portal, and now that you're here, you can't unhear what's about to be revealed. Because what's coming is not an explanation, it's an activation. This isn't about surface level positivity or trendy manifestation hacks. This is about the real reason your reality hasn't shifted the way you hoped, even when you've said the right words, done the right rituals, thought the right thoughts. This is about what's really running your life when you think you're in control. A secret ancient code, once shared only among mystics and initiates, is now resurfacing, not through intellect, but through vibration. And it's calling you right now. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you feel most deeply, especially the emotions you try to avoid. Even while you sleep, even when you distract yourself, even when you pretend you're okay, your vibration never stops speaking. And it is this silent, emotional frequency that determines what shows up in your life. That's why you can ask for love and still attract rejection. That's why you can say you want peace and still feel surrounded by chaos. Because what you consciously desire and what you vibrationally emit are often not the same. The real question isn't, why hasn't it worked? The real question is, what am I still holding inside that the universe is mirroring back to me? Behind every repeated pattern, every loop you can't seem to escape, is an unresolved emotion, an imprint that still lives in your energetic body. The ancients called this the water body, because it flows like a river and stores the memories of everything you've ever felt. And just like water, it carries vibration. It doesn't forget. It doesn't judge. It echoes. You may have moved on mentally, changed your environment, cut ties, started over. But if the emotional frequency hasn't shifted, you're simply walking the same story on a different stage. This is why the same lessons keep showing up. This is why no matter how far you run, you end up face to face with the same feelings. Not because you're cursed, but because the universe is precise. It will keep reflecting what you need to see until you finally see it. And here's the part most people miss. The universe is not waiting for your permission to start responding. It already is. Every fear, every suppressed memory, every hidden wound, it's all being broadcast right now. Even the things you pretend not to feel are shaping your reality. Not because life is cruel, but because your soul is calling for truth. And truth has a vibration that can't be silenced. That's why the moments that hurt the most are often the ones that change us the most. The heartbreaks, the collapses, the moments when everything falls apart. They're not punishments. They're portals. They're sacred disruptions designed to shake you out of the dream of who you thought you were, so you can finally remember who you really are. Think about your hardest moments, the times you were forced to stop pretending, to stop running, to stop controlling. What happened after that? Who did you become? What strength was born in you that would never have come without the pressure? without the fire, without the pain. This isn't about suffering for the sake of suffering. This is about evolution, awakening, alignment. When your vibration becomes clear, when you stop resisting your emotions and start feeling them fully, everything begins to shift. Not because you pushed harder, but because you finally stopped blocking your own energy. You stopped hiding from yourself. You've been asking for a breakthrough. You've been asking for change, for clarity, for purpose. But that can't come while your energy is still clouded by fear you haven't faced. That's why life keeps circling you back, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to test you, but to refine you. There is something within you that's far more powerful than what you've been taught to believe. Something ancient, something magnetic, something sacred. And the moment you allow yourself to feel, to release, to clear the inner waters, you begin vibrating at a new level. And when your vibration changes, your reality has to follow. Everything you've been searching for outside of you begins to emerge from within you. The answers, the signs, the alignments, the peace, the love. They were never outside of your reach. They were waiting for your energy to match their frequency. And now, finally, that moment is here. This is not just another message. This is the turning point. The hidden code is waking up inside you. The old self, the one shaped by fear, scarcity, and survival, is crumbling, and a new self is rising, one aligned with truth, wholeness, and power. You didn't come here to live on autopilot. You didn't come here to repeat cycles or play small. You came here to awaken. And the fact that you're still reading this means your soul is saying yes. So breathe, feel, and remember, the universe is not waiting. It's already responding. And everything changes the moment you do. If you're ready, the code activates now. True power doesn't come from trying to control life or proving yourself to others. It begins the moment you stop resisting, stop explaining, stop running, and stop reacting like someone lost in a storm. It begins when you finally allow yourself to be still, to stop fighting what's happening around or inside you, and simply be. This stillness is not emptiness. It is the gateway to something called pure awareness. And despite how it may sound, pure awareness isn't mystical or unreachable. It's not something reserved for monks in caves or people who meditate for years. Pure awareness is simply the state of being fully present in the moment without judgment and without reacting automatically. It's what happens when you stop telling stories about your pain and start witnessing it instead. When you stop asking why and start listening. When you stop trying to fix everything and simply allow yourself to feel. In this space of pure awareness, you don't try to control your thoughts or emotions. You observe them. You notice when the same challenges keep appearing in your life, and instead of panicking or defending yourself, you just watch. You notice your emotions rising in certain moments, and instead of getting swept away, you remain anchored. You don't analyze. You don't explain. You don't run. You just witness. And that witnessing, that ability to be with yourself without judgment, is where the shift begins. Because when you can sit with what's happening without needing to react, it starts to lose its power over you. Patterns begin to loosen. Emotional loops begin to unravel. The parts of you that once felt stuck begin to breathe again. And all of this happens not by force, but by presence. Presence doesn't demand you change overnight. It doesn't expect you to be perfect. It simply invites you to be conscious, to notice, to feel, to stay. So the next time something upsets you, don't rush to respond. Take a breath. Feel where the tension is in your body. Watch the thought that rises. Notice the story you're tempted to believe. And instead of clinging to your old beliefs like "this always happens to me," or "I'm just this way," pause and recognize what's actually there. Here's a thought. Here's an emotion. Here's a physical sensation. That's it. You don't need to fix it. You just need to see it. That is what pure awareness looks like. And every time you practice this, you open an invisible doorway inside yourself, a portal that pulls you out of the chaos of automatic living and anchors you in the truth of your own presence. You stop reacting blindly. You stop being pulled around by circumstances. You begin to live from the center of your being. And that's where real transformation happens. As this presence grows stronger in you, you begin to feel a new kind of freedom. A freedom that has nothing to do with how much money you have or whether people like you. A freedom that doesn't depend on success or recognition or answers. It's the freedom of knowing you can feel peace even in the middle of chaos. But even when this awakening begins, there is still something that quietly pulls you back. Something most people don't see or understand. It's not a curse. It's not an evil force outside of you. It's not a demon or a spiritual attack. It's something more subtle, something that lives inside you, and it's called vibrational momentum. Vibrational momentum is the energy of everything you've ever felt, thought, believed, avoided, repeated, and stored throughout your life. Every fear you didn't face, every belief you never questioned, every emotion you pushed down, all of it is still there. Not because you're broken, but because energy accumulates. And that accumulated energy has weight. It has a pull. It has a rhythm. Even after an awakening, it keeps running underneath the surface, like a train that's been going full speed in one direction for years. Even if you suddenly wake up and realize you want to go the other way, that train can't stop instantly. It needs space. It needs awareness. It needs time to slow down. That train is your energetic field, your emotional habits, your unconscious reactions, your conditioned responses. It's the reason so many people feel inspired one day and overwhelmed the next. It's why you can have a moment of clarity and still fall back into the same old pattern. It's not because you're failing. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because your field is still carrying momentum. And unless you become aware of it and work with it, it keeps pulling you back into the old version of yourself. That's why true awakening isn't a one-time event. It's a process of showing up with presence over and over again. Even when it feels hard, even when it feels like you're going backwards, even when your old self tries to convince you nothing's changed. Awakening isn't just about realizing something. It's about retraining your entire field to vibrate differently. That's what real transformation is, a vibrational recalibration. You are teaching yourself to feel new feelings, to respond in new ways, to make new choices. And just like an instrument that's been out of tune for a long time, it takes patience and attention to bring yourself into harmony. You can't rush this process. You can't force it. You can only meet it with love. There's something else few people understand, but it changes everything once you do. There's a hidden principle called vibrational integrity, and it's not about being perfect or following moral rules. It's not about trying to be a good person or pleasing everyone. It's about aligning what you think, what you say, and what you do. When these three things match, your thoughts, your words, your actions, you become clear. You become whole. Your energy field becomes strong and pure. But when your mind says one thing, your mouth says another, and your actions say something else entirely, your energy shatters. It becomes scattered, fragmented, and you begin to feel tired, blocked, confused, stuck. You can't trick your energy field. You can have the best intentions, but if your thoughts are negative, your words dishonest, and your actions disconnected, the energy gets broken. It's like trying to shine a light through cracked glass. The light gets distorted. That's why so many people feel like they're doing all the right things, but still not moving forward. Their energy isn't aligned. Their integrity isn't vibrational. It's conditional. And the universe doesn't respond to your affirmations or what you write in your journal. It responds to the total vibration of your being. When you live with vibrational integrity, when you become someone whose inner truth is expressed clearly through every word and action, your energy becomes magnetic. You don't have to chase things. Things begin to come to you, not because you forced them, but because your field is coherent. And that coherence is power. But there's an even simpler key that holds incredible power. A key that's so simple most people overlook it. That key is in two words: infinite love and infinite gratitude. These aren't just feel-good phrases. They are vibrational codes. When you speak them with real intent, not just saying the words, but actually feeling them, you begin to restructure your field. You begin to tune yourself to the highest frequency available to you in your human form. Say it when you wake up, before you even open your eyes. Place your hand on your chest and whisper to yourself, infinite love and infinite gratitude. Say it softly. Say it like a wave. Let the energy wash through you. Say it when you walk into a room. Say it when you're stressed. Say it when you're cooking, driving, talking, praying. You don't need to force it. You don't even need to understand it. Just let it vibrate in your being. This vibration doesn't depend on how you feel. It's not about pretending you're okay. It's about creating space for healing and alignment, even when things feel messy. And over time, it changes you. It dissolves blocks. It softens tension. It clears layers of heaviness you didn't even know you were carrying. But once your field begins to shift, the journey isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Because everything up until now has only been preparing you for something bigger. The universe didn't awaken you just so you could manifest more comfort or success. It awakened you because there's a deeper mission calling you. A mission that's not about personal gain, but about collective service. You are not separate from the rest of the world. Your energy affects everything around you. Every thought you hold, every emotion you carry, every decision you make, it all echoes through the collective field. You are not a small, powerless being. You are a powerful vibrational point in the web of life. And when you rise in awareness, the whole web begins to shift. You don't need to convince others. You don't need to preach. Just be the light. Just be the presence. Just be the integrity. Because when you are aligned, your energy becomes contagious. It reorganizes environments. It uplifts others without effort. You become a living field of transformation. And that's when you approach the most sacred threshold of all, the portal that ancient mystics guarded, the lost vibrational code of Thoth. This portal is not a place. It's a state of being. It's not written in books. It's not something you can buy. It's something that gets activated inside of you when your vibration becomes humble, aligned, and ready. This code doesn't respond to pride. It doesn't respond to knowledge. It only opens when you're willing to surrender deeply to the rhythm of the universe. When this code is near, everything false inside you will start to rise. Old emotions, hidden fears, outdated beliefs. Because this code doesn't allow you to live halfway. It calls you into wholeness. It burns away what's fake, not with judgment, but with truth. It's not here to make you special. It's here to make you real. And once you cross that threshold, you're no longer throwing wishes into the wind hoping life gets better. You become the vessel through which the universe creates. You stop trying to control life and start participating in it fully. You stop trying to manifest from ego and begin to manifest from source. You realize that your life isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more, not for yourself alone, but for all of us. You become a quiet force of alignment in a chaotic world. You become a lighthouse, not shouting, not pushing, just shining. And everything around you starts to remember its own light too. This is the real awakening. This is the power you've always carried. And now, you're finally ready to live it. This isn't about seeing a magical symbol or speaking a secret word. What reveals itself is far more subtle and powerful. It's a vibration, an invisible energy, a code made of frequency that doesn't speak to your eyes or ears, but directly to the vibration of your soul. These are not drawings on ancient walls or spells written in hidden books. They exist beyond the physical, beyond logic. They're not meant to be seen, but felt. You don't experience them through thinking. You experience them through your energy field. They communicate with the deepest part of who you are without needing to go through the filter of your mind. It's like standing in front of a song that doesn't play with sound, but instead moves through the fibers of your body, changing you from the inside out. Each vibrational symbol is like a sacred musical note that, when activated, begins to restructure your entire field of energy. But they don't work just because you want them to. They only begin their sacred dance within you if you are emotionally clear, energetically aligned, and consciously prepared. If your inner world is full of confusion, emotional wounds, inner conflicts, or spiritual imbalance, these codes will not wait for you to be ready. They will activate everything in you, both your clarity and your chaos. They don't pick and choose which parts of you to affect. They touch all of you. And if you are fragmented, they will amplify that fragmentation. If you are carrying unresolved pain, the symbols will bring it to the surface. That's why they are sacred. Not because they are mysterious or forbidden, but because they require deep respect. They shift the entire vibrational foundation of your being. And if that foundation is weak, the whole structure trembles. That's why the ancient teachers never gave these symbols all at once. They led their students carefully through stages. They understood that without emotional maturity, vibrational humility, and energetic discipline, the codes could do more harm than good. The preparation needed to access these sacred frequencies doesn't come from achievements, awards, or public recognition. It doesn't come from outside at all. It comes from within, through inner silence, fierce self-honesty, self-observation, and a sincere willingness to evolve. The real question is not whether you want to access these codes. The question is whether you are ready to allow everything that lives inside you, light and shadow, fear and faith, love and longing, to rise to the surface and be reorganized. Because when these frequencies begin to circulate through you, they awaken all of it. Not just the parts of you you're proud of, not just the spiritual mask. They awaken the hidden shame, the forgotten pain, the denied parts of your heart. And that's why this process requires courage. It requires presence. It requires full responsibility. This is not a technique. This is not a spiritual trend. This is a deep reunion with your true self. It's a remembering of what has always been within you, waiting for permission to return home. When you feel these symbols, you're not just aligning with energy, you're reuniting with the parts of yourself that have been waiting lifetimes to be seen again. The parts that were once hidden, suppressed, rejected. This is not a surface-level practice. This is the intimate, raw, and honest work of wholeness. It's not about manifesting more stuff. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to force manifestation, because your very presence begins to shape reality from the inside out. But this is where many people fall into a hidden trap. They begin to feel the vibration awakening within them. And just when the energy starts to rise, the old patterns begin to fight back. Not from outside, from inside. These patterns are invisible. They hide behind everyday emotions, but they drain the energy you've spent so long trying to build. They weaken your field before it's had the chance to open fully. The first of these hidden saboteurs is impatience. That rush you feel when things aren't moving fast enough. The pressure to arrive. The urgency to reach a result. This rush shortens your breath, tightens your body, and breaks your presence. When you're impatient, your energy leaves the now and scatters into the future. You become fragmented. Your consciousness becomes unstable. And no matter how much energy you try to pour into your field, it leaks out through the cracks of your disconnection. Right after impatience comes anxiety. Anxiety is more than just a feeling. It's a vibrational signal. It sends out fear, mistrust, and confusion. Even if your words say you want peace, your anxious vibration tells the universe the opposite. It says you don't trust. It says you're not safe. It says you're not ready. And the universe always responds to your vibration, not your language. Then comes self-pressure. This one is the most dangerous because it disguises itself as a strength. You think you're being disciplined. You think you're just trying to grow. But deep down, that constant self-pushing is a symptom of something else. A hidden belief that you're not enough as you are. That you're always behind. That you have to prove your worth. This belief creates a vibration of lack and restlessness, weakening your field and creating openings where vital energy escapes. The next one is rigidity, mental rigidity, emotional rigidity, physical rigidity. It appears when you begin to believe there's only one right way to grow, one right way to change, one correct method to follow. But the energy of the universe doesn't move in straight lines. It dances. It flows. It adapts. When you become rigid, you block that natural movement. Your energy hardens. You become dense, heavy, disconnected from the very flow that wants to carry you. Rigidity traps you inside control, and control has no room for mystery, no room for surprise. None of these inner blocks can be solved by more effort. You don't dissolve impatience by speeding up. You don't heal anxiety by thinking positive thoughts. You don't overcome pressure by pushing harder. You don't break rigidity by commanding yourself to relax. You heal them through awareness, through softness, through observation. When impatience arises, pause and breathe. When anxiety pulls you, return to your body. When pressure shows up, remind yourself you are enough. When rigidity locks you up, stretch, physically, mentally, and emotionally. This isn't a one-day breakthrough. It's not a single moment of enlightenment. It's a daily practice, a quiet, consistent return to your center. Each time you do it, you create more space. And the more space you make, the more energy can circulate. The cleaner your field becomes, the higher your frequency rises. And then something begins to change. Your whole being becomes a container capable of receiving the higher codes, the deeper vibrations, the sacred manifestations that are ready to flow through you. All of this brings you to the most important part, the creation of a vibrational shield. Not a wall that shuts the world out, but an energetic structure that can hold what's awakening within you. Up until now, you've been opening space, creating room to feel, to listen, to awaken. But space without structure is like an open door without walls. Anything can come in, and everything can knock you over. A healthy, stable energy field doesn't just happen. It must be cultivated, cared for, and protected. Everything you say, feel, or think affects it. Every thought leaves a mark. Every emotion shapes its edges. And so, vibrational protection begins with purification, with clearing away the small toxicities, unspoken resentments, lingering irritations, repeated thoughts that have become mental habits, not by fighting them, but by bringing light to them. One of the simplest but most powerful tools is the pause, a conscious pause. Whenever something pulls you out of yourself, stop for just 3 seconds. Breathe. Feel yourself again. That pause restores your alignment. It reminds your field who it is. It strengthens your boundary. In that short moment, you recover energy that would otherwise be lost. Next, you cultivate presence. Not all day, not in a perfect way, but in small moments, while drinking water, feeling the breeze, or hearing music. When you do these ordinary things with full attention, your energy field learns how to stay anchored. An anchored field is hard to shake. It doesn't fall apart at the first challenge. It knows where it stands. Finally, you move into alignment. Real protection doesn't come from hiding. It comes from living in truth. Every time you act against your own values, your field weakens. Every time you silence your inner voice, accept less than you deserve, or betray your boundaries, your shield breaks. You don't have to live perfectly. You just have to live truthfully. When your thoughts, words, and actions match your heart, your field becomes strong. And that strength is what prepares you for what's next. You didn't go through all of this for nothing. You've been slowly preparing for a sacred moment, the activation of Thoth's lost code. Not a physical object, not a mantra, not a symbol on a scroll. A vibration, a living frequency that only reveals itself when you are aligned, whole, and ready. You don't activate it with effort. You activate it by becoming the vibration that matches it. It waits for three things inside you to align: clarity, intention, and surrender. Clarity means letting go of the noise, the mental chatter, the stories you've told yourself about who you should be. You don't create clarity by thinking harder. You create it by emptying, by allowing silence to speak. Pure intention is not a wish list. It is the deep, honest declaration: I am ready to become who I truly am. It's not about knowing every step of the journey. It's about saying yes to the journey itself. That yes, spoken from the soul, opens gates you didn't even know existed. Surrender is the hardest. It means letting go of control, trusting life to move, releasing your grip on the how and the when. It's not giving up. It's giving over, letting the flow of the universe guide your steps. And when all three align, the code activates, not with fireworks, but with presence. Close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. On the third breath, imagine golden light in your chest. Feel it expanding. Say silently, I clear my mind. I purify my intention. I surrender my path to the universal flow. Let the light fill you. Let it touch every part of you. Don't try to feel something specific. Just be. That stillness, that openness, is the doorway. That's how the code reveals itself. Not through effort, through vibration, through alignment, through truth. If you've made it here, it's not by accident. This message found you because you were already vibrating with it. That means the time is now. The portal is open, and it's time to make a declaration. If you're ready, go to the comments and write, I accept Thoth's code, not as a ritual, but as a choice, as an energetic commitment to live in alignment with what you are. And if you feel called to help carry this message further, to support this mission and its unfolding, there is a link to do so. Your support is not just felt, it's multiplied through the field we're building together. But most importantly, don't leave now. A new video has been prepared for you, the next step on this journey. It's already waiting. This moment isn't meant to be delayed. Your energy is already in motion. Click the video that appears now. Step through. I'll meet you on the other side.